Welcome to your magic moon message, ladies and gentlemen. This is the peace dealer. The moon is in Gemini. Okay. I'm still a little groggy from I woke up a while ago, but the moon is going to conjunct Jupiter, and we are going to begin integrating the 120-degree Leo signature from the moon to the sun. This is now taking the fertile ground. The seeds have broken through the ground through Taurus, and it's going to now produce the effect of this integration process. It's going to produce a true intellectual understanding effect that will help you understand the thought process of what to think to fully express new knowledge you activated with the new moon. Basically, the new moon in Aquarius was like opening a new book with knowledge that is updated, which you haven't yet explored. And the moon in Gemini is understanding what and how to express the vocabulary that what Jupiter is expanding as you read this book and you start to actually, evolve your vocabulary. All right. The vocabulary evolution has been in place since May of 2024, and it's going to peak at June of 2025. So every 28 days, as the moon has gone over Uranus since 2018 in Taurus, and Jupiter in Gemini since May 2024, has been, of course, every 28 days updating to give you a much more evolved understanding of how you can now shift and adjust your use of words in order to make intellectual sense of the experiences you're experiencing. Gemini is the first mutable effect. After Gemini, when we get an intellectual understanding, we go to Virgo, the second magic of analysis, where we get an analytical understanding, using this discernment of facts through critical thinking and analysis to take our intellectual understanding of Gemini and actually bring more factual credence to it. This is what adjusts our behavior. Then moon in Sagittarius, the third and first high magic, the God level magic, interprets the meaning of the analysis through Virgo, so that everything we are understanding of what to say, the word in the dictionary, Gemini by Sagittarius, we see what that word means. We do this every 28 days. Then at Pisces, we come into how now the thoughts in Gemini, the analysis in Virgo, and the meaning in Sag now shift our beliefs in Pisces. Okay, I'm going to explain how the moon is like a 28-day software update. Okay, because every time the moon transits through the zodiac, in between that moment, the planets will move. And then when the moon goes around and then touches bases with how far each planet has moved, Mercury moves quicker, Pluto doesn't move that much, we get updates. So I'll show you that. Other than that, if we use the analogy of Aquarius as every year you write a new book, right? This Gemini portion is where we start to memorize the words. So if you had written a 16, if you wrote a book, if you wrote a short story, and you knew that when it's Leo season and the moon in Leo, you're going to start practicing performing it by heart, then the moon in Gemini is where you're starting to integrate this performance by beginning to memorize the lines. Okay, if I was memorizing the lines for a play, I would be like, Judy, don't go through that door. Make sure you close the door after you leave, right? These are words I wrote down for the screenplay. When the moon goes into Cancer, we now come into a more, logical or truthful understanding of how we want to express this. We're going to add emotion to this memorization. Hey, Julie, don't leave that door. And then when the moon is in Leo, we're going to have this extra drama to it. Hey, Julie, don't leave that door. So that's the increment. Okay, I had to do. Okay, so Gemini, Cancer, Leo, that's what's going to prepare for this full moon. All right, the Cancer is what's going to, if you want to think of Taurus and Gemini as the lines, and then Cancer and Leo is coloring in the lines with your emotion and then your boldness. So basically, this is going to be a really great day to express your creativity. This is a highly big brain day. It's going to promote a lot of conversation. albeit because of the square to Pisces, a lot of people aren't going to know what the fuck they're saying, and they're just going to run with theories that they made up because they want to feed their confirmation bias. And there's no right or wrong side. You're going to see everybody doing this. The ones who have Virgo or actually care about facts aren't really going to speak out of turn because they actually have common sense, and you want to really just analyze the facts before you see headlines, or you just see videos and pictures without context and then just go on a whole commentary about it. But leave it to most people to not care about that, leaving Virgos all over the world just pissed because nobody cares about actual facts, to which they have to clean up the mess. I'm not ranting. I know it sounds like I'm ranting. I'm just telling you. Hold on, let me show you. So as you can see, like I said before, there's no Virgo and there's no Sag. Okay, so people aren't seeing shit. They're not analyzing shit. You just have a lot of people fucking talking and believing. And talking and believing is amazing, but without analysis and meaning, where people are really just saying anything. And yeah, there might be truth in a lot of what people are saying, but is it really real? That's what the South Node in Virgo is going to ask you for the next year and a half. Is it really real, or is it just cap? Is it really real, or are the people who are bringing up these narratives and rhetoric just using important issues to mask how they really feel behind what they're saying? And this is where Virgo will show you through their behavior, you know what I'm saying, the true intention of what they're saying, right? For example, you know, using very serious like issues like grooming and you know, pedophilia or sexual assault to really just, you know, cancel someone they don't like, not because the person wasn't wrong in what they did and they don't have to take accountability of that, but you can tell that maybe what's motivating them more are, you know, more ulterior motives or more of a bias and prejudice. And I'm really, this can apply to anybody. This is just an example. So, you know, I'm not going to say the ends don't justify the means or the ends justify the means, but you don't want to be misled by how people will effortlessly virtue signal in order to really preach to a choir, weaving pathos and not really much logos in order to really pressure people to, you know, this, like, you can see, I'm going to use politics, for example. You can see people who are pro-Trump do this. You can see people who are anti-Trump do this. So I'm not trying to say like one side is going to be clear. No, you can see people on both sides actually decide to be mature and you know, actually allow facts to tell the story, or you'll just see people ad-libbing and creating so much headcanon. So this square to Pisces, unlike a week ago where we were adjusting our beliefs, now we are understanding how our thoughts, we are integrating to this active knowledge we are putting together, clashes with these beliefs, so that anything about our thoughts we understand have to shift to align with these beliefs, we align with them. That means this moon in Gemini. So that means a week ago, we were creating headcanon. We're like, okay, and that's the cool thing about Virgo and Pisces. Pisces is next to Aries, the beginning. So when we go through the Pisces arc of things, like when we go through Mars, like let's use the battle rap that happened last year. Around March, April, May, when all these things started to pop off, with the Pisces side, a lot of people were like, this is how we believe Pisces, the battle is going to play out. By September, October, once it kind of cleared out, Virgo answers the question, how? So what were people saying in September? This is how the battle rap played out. So how is indicating what happened in the past. Belief is indicating what we believe is going to happen in the future. So that's how you can look at these cycles. Last week, we were believing how we want to integrate this truth. And now we are understanding what is true about what we believe. And then next week, we're going to understand how that's not only true, but how those beliefs are real. And it's through the moon in Gemini and moon in Virgo, where anything that's delusional or just doesn't align with what information is coming out with this moon in Gemini to process, we have to change those beliefs. But certain people are committed to being delusional, because if the framework of the system of beliefs, the bullshit that they create in their head doesn't match with the facts and the truth, you know, it's very easy. I can be guilty of this sometimes too. Psych, I'm a motherfucking truth. All right, I call myself out too. Now, as a human, I can also be guilty of this too. I call myself out when I can. Some people don't call themselves out. So this is where you want to take what people are saying with a grain of salt, The moon is trining Pluto, which is going to really now extend this extreme heightened sensitivity of the supernatural energy and knowledge that you're putting words to now, to really now integrate this true experience. So once again, the moon, Jupiter, very big deal. We just had moon Uranus that's now re-updating the innovation. So I want to show you something. See how Uranus is 23 and Jupiter is 11 and they're both direct? Let's go like 2 weeks to the future, right? In 2 weeks from now, when the moon is in Sag, we're still gonna, Venus is now gonna be 9 degrees where it was 1 degree before. If we go a little bit further, right, it's now 10 degrees, right? So if we go further, boom. So the planets were stationed and barely moved, but you see how Venus is retrograde? We're gonna use Venus because it moves slower. You see how it was 1 degree? So in between the last time we had the moon on Pisces and moon on Venus and Pisces, now if we move a few weeks, what has happened since then? Venus has now made it all the way to Aries. It's about to retrograde. So by the time we go back to Aries and Venus gets ready to retrograde, right? Now the moon is updating us on how Venus has moved from 1 to 10 degrees. That's how you want to see the moon. You want to see the moon as every 28 days updating you to how the planets have, been beefing with each other. I mean, been traveling around the sun, because they're totally not beefing and their clashes are not playing out through us. That's totally not how it happens. But that being said, okay, this moon in Gemini that is raving forward is definitely going to inspire you to be very creative with your words. Once again, if you're writing the book, you are memorizing the language. You are memorizing your words. You're going to add more depth and desire once this goes into Mars, which is trining Saturn, and it's aligning this system of beliefs with what you feel you want to do with it. And the quincunx that's being made is going to provide this awareness of knowledge that moving forward will begin to transform what you feel you desire, because now higher knowledge is going to be presented that you will understand how to communicate, which will effectively now transform what you feel you want in light, son, of higher and new knowledge. Okay, I hope you enjoy this transit. Venus in Aries is going to really push forward in order for you to express your love and desire in an original, raw way. And the moon in Gemini adds vocabulary with which you can communicate this. So have fun, as this is a Leo signature transit, and I'll see you in the next one. And until next time.